Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So, I'd like to start today with a um, image from our security feed, and yes, that is the bear that lives on the property. So, I am not exaggerating when I said that there's coyotes and bears and a big predator load, and I don't like going outside at night. So, um, I'm taking precautions with bear spray and having my dogs around me. So, um, we'll all try to stay safe. But I just want to show you that we do have pictures of the bear now. So, go us. Anyways, so in the comments from yesterday's video, M224.7, who is also someone that often has very insightful comments in my comment section, mentioned that Coinbase actually has a way to do the Bitcoin loan stuff. And I was not aware, and I don't like I wouldn't want to put my Bitcoin in a weird website, but it's Coinbase. So I thought, hey, why not explore new ways to get to even more debt? So it's powered through Morpho, and basically it converts your Bitcoin to, it's like BTC or something like that, where it's like it converts it to a collateralized version of Bitcoin, and they keep it there until your loan's paid back. And it's kind of like, well, it's more like a HELOC than margin, but the same rules for margin applies to this type of loan because there's no minimum payment back. So basically, you could take out the loan and put it into Misty and not pay a single penny back in your interest. And when it gets close to the loan to value, you just pay the whole thing off with your Misty that you just, got 100% return on. But my biggest questions were this, like, how does it work? And then how can I access it? Because I tried on the desktop first because I'm a millennial and I like doing banking from my actual laptop where I have a big monitor and I can have multiple screens. But hey, it's only available on the mobile app right now. But the other question I had was, what is the APR for this? Because the only thing I was seeing is like the APR can be as low as 5%, but it's variable rate. So when you go onto the mobile app, this is the first, and there's a cash section and it says borrow, and you just click on that. So get a USDC loan with your Bitcoin powered by Morpho. Then the second screen you get is your loan is powered by Morpho. It is an open source on-chain lending protocol that isn't affiliated with Coinbase. So if Morpho gets hacked or goes under as a company and you lose all your Bitcoin, it's not Coinbase's fault. So that's my biggest hesitation is I wouldn't want to put the majority or even a significant amount of my Bitcoin through this loan program because my Bitcoin is in a cold wallet and not on an exchange at all. And that's where Bitcoin should be. So the way that this loan works is you have to keep your loan to value ratio below 86% or we will be liquidated on Morpho along with a penalty fee. So the LTV is the ratio of your outstanding loan balance to the market value of your collateral. So if it accrues enough interest or the value of your collateral drops and it causes the loan to value of your loan to reach 86%, then your collateral will be liquidated to repay the loan plus a penalty fee. So there is no minimum payment, but it is like your margin where you should pay off your interest on a regular basis so it doesn't, morph into something bad. And then If your margin gets too close and you don't have enough buffer, then you will get liquidated. Except with margin in your brokerage account, it's money that you don't actually own. It's money that the bank lets you play with. Here, it's your actual Bitcoin, and you don't want to lose your Bitcoin because you made a bad bet somewhere. So, basically, you can get money from your Bitcoin without having to sell it and having a taxable event in that way. So, like, what circumstance would I actually consider doing this? Well, let's answer the question of what is the APR on this. So it starts, and it's a variable rate at 4.99%, at least for me. It updates every second, and it's probably different for everybody. I also have $2,000 of Bitcoin because when my house was under contract in July last year, there was a dip and I bought it. And then I was like, oh no, I need that $1,000. But then I made it work without that $1,000. But it was still like, you still need this money. So this is money that I would consider doing a loan with because I actually had no business with doing this investment in the first place. But now that it is Bitcoin, I am hesitant to sell it because, again, it is Bitcoin. So the circumstance that I would do this with would be, let's say I have a condo, one that is under contract for the 5th time in the 6th attempt, and I owe, like $50-ish thousand. So I'm going to go, or in this situation, the person, they take that money out of their IRA, and then what do? Do they directly pay that to the title company, or do they put it into Coinbase and get a Bitcoin loan and then use that Bitcoin loan money to pay for the condo so that you don't own the condo anymore, but you've locked in a rate for Bitcoin and it's only a 5% APR at the moment. So the only reason to do it that way would be to lock in a Bitcoin rate. And if this is happening next year or the year after during the crypto winter, and Bitcoin is actually at a good price, because right now it's at $100 or around $100,000 per coin, and I don't want to get a loan when it's at the top of the cycle and worth the most, because when it drops, then I'm going to get margin called, and I don't want I don't want to get margin called on this. So if it's already cheap and it's on a dip, I'm going to check and see what the APR is like then, because this is a variable. So I don't think it is locked in once you take out the loan. So they could, if they really wanted to, it starts out at 5% and then goes to 20% a month later. And so it really does work out for the best with margin and this kind of loan if you have enough money somewhere to pay it off if things get out of control. So I don't know if you have a grace period like you do with Robinhood, where if it goes below, you have time to pay off the difference, or you just have to keep a really close eye on this. But this is a way to take my BTC and use it to put it into high income ETFs to earn money, because 5% is much less than, the 15% or the 50% from YMAX or 55% from Goldie or 100% from Misty. So like it's much like a much better loan rate than my return, or a 5% loan rate makes it like it's enticing. Let's put it that way. It's enticing to say, like, for 5%, I can leverage this money to put it into high income ETFs or into even TLTW, like something safer, and still get more than a 5% return. And the point of that is, I have more money in the end. So, but just like with margin, if like you just can't beat that risk on, because eventually you'll get margin called if you take out too much money, or if it goes into a worthless investment. So this has its place in the world. I think that I will keep it in mind when I go to sell my condo, and if I'm short. In fact, I could, like, if there's a big dip, I could move some of my BTC out of cold storage and use that to, like, pay off my margin, or get, like, buy the dip basically in the actual stock market. So this is how the rich leverage debt to get ahead, but it doesn't mean that I would pull off doing debt like that. This is the first time I'm trying to leverage debt, and I'm glad that we were figuring this out before I went ahead and pulled the money out of my IRA to pay off my condo, because I don't know. I am a little resentful with my condo. But yeah. What do you think? Would you use this from Coinbase? And have you heard of any alternatives that you're eyeing? And what would you, if you took your BTC and you used it as collateral, what would you invest it in? And I will talk to you all later. Bye.